Hey guys, it's Catherine and you're watching CUKpop Today. And today I just want to get some more thoughts out on Jonghyun. It is the anniversary, 1 month anniversary of his death. I don't really know what you're supposed to say in these situations. Happy 1 month, you know, like, what do you say exactly? But it has been exactly 1 month and now 1 month and a day since his passing. And if you watched my really bad farewell to Jonghyun video, that was a mess, wasn't it? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. But if you watched that and you stayed through the whole thing, first of all, thank you. You real. Second of all, I addressed the fact that I was going to be mourning Jonghyun for exactly 1 month since his passing, and it has been 1 month. So I am no longer wearing black. I have put up my posters again. I'm wearing jewelry again. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't, during that month, that period, I wasn't wearing any of my jewelry. I wear a lot of jewelry, if you couldn't tell. Like, I wear a lot. So I was just wearing studs and just a necklace because I feel like, I don't know, during that time, like, jewelry is very like me, like, it really is like, pay attention to me, look at what I have on and stuff. And during that time, you really just need to focus on the other person or the person you're mourning and, you know, paying respects to. So it really shouldn't be about you. And so for like 1 full month, I didn't wear almost any jewelry, and it was very strange for me. Also, I addressed the fact that, like, in my personal life, I had never experienced a death, you know, in my life, like, close to me, not a relative or a friend, or even like, oh, my mom's friend of a friend of a friend, you know, like, it's never happened for me. And then within this last month, I've lost 2 of my friends. So that was a lot. And that was, I mean, it's been less than a month since both of them have passed away, so I'm not totally like healed or over it or anything, but I don't know, it's just, life is funny, isn't it? You know, like, yeah, I've never lost anyone in my life, and then Jonghyun dies, and then 2 of my friends die separately, you know, just 2 separate incidences. Like, life is a bitch. But yeah, so I just also want to talk about kind of what it felt like to mourn, because I had never gone through that experience before, and so I had never known what it really felt like. And I think it's important for people to talk about it. You know, like, we talk about the death, but what is it like to actually mourn? So that's just kind of why I made this video, to sort of mark the ending of my grieving process, but also just kind of get thoughts out about, you know, what just every day was sort of like. Now, the biggest change for me was wearing black. So I did wear black for 1 full month, and it wasn't just like I wore black, you know, to school or to work, you know, outside. Like, I wore black at home. Everything that I slept in was black. For New Year's, I went to a New Year's party, and that, like, everyone was pretty dressed up and colorful and cute and everything. And black, you can wear black to New Year's. It's not like a taboo or anything. But I did wear a black dress, and it was definitely kind of noticeable. Like, everyone was kind of like, okay, that's your choice, but fine. So, and wearing black, for me, I wear black in my personal life a lot. Like, if you watch any of my videos before Jonghyun's passing, like, I wear black a lot. And so I did have a lot of black to wear, but to wear it day in and day out, outside of the house as well as inside of the house, it really, I think, changes your mindset. And I think for a certain period of time, it's okay, it's healthy, it's what you need to do to sort of pay your respect to whoever you've lost, to represent that you are, you know, not in the greatest frame of mind right now, and you might need some space or some time or whatever. But I think doing it for too long is unhealthy, and it really takes a toll on just your mental state, because when I first, started wearing it, I was like, I'm doing this for Jonghyun. Like, I'm doing it for him. And then within, like, the last week or so, like, because every time I reached for, like, a piece of clothing, I would just remember, like, why I'm doing it. It just never left my head. It was never just like, oh, this is just normal, let me just grab this shirt. It was like, I'm doing this because Kim Jong-hyun, lead singer of SHINee, has passed away and he's no longer with us. Like, that just would run through my mind every morning and every time I changed. So, I think over time, for long periods of time, that can become a problem, and that becomes very unhealthy, because then you tend to dwell on that. And me personally, I don't know about any of you guys, but me personally, I can dwell on things for a very long time, to the point where, like, it kind of just takes over my brain space, and that's really all I think about, and then it's just not good. It's not healthy for me personally. Some people can think about things like that, think about sad things or troubling things, and in the moment they're sad, but then they can kind of brush it off and they can move on. I cannot do that. So that's why I gave myself 1 month exactly. Not to say I can't be sad or, like, shed a tear or, think about Jonghyun from time to time, but it's just not something I want to think about 24/7 anymore. So there's the stereotype, or kind of like, so the story goes, that when girls, especially girls that have hair to sacrifice, get over bad breakups, they tend to cut their hair. And I mean, I already had short hair. Like, I don't think it even touched my shoulders. It barely touched my shoulders. But, like, yesterday I had scheduled a hair appointment, like, weeks before, because I just knew, like, when I was done with this grieving process, I would want something new. I'd want something fresh. I'd want, just kind of the symbolic shedding of your skin, of a past life, a past year, whatever. And so that's why I cut my hair. And not to say that, like, every time I cut my hair, that's what it's gonna mean. So, like, don't worry, you guys, because I think in the summer it's gonna get even shorter than this. But it was a symbolic thing for me. I'm very much about, like, symbolism and metaphors, and, like, in my own life, but in other people's lives. And so this really helped me a lot. And this is all just personally. This does not mean, like, hey, go get your hair cut or anything. But I'm just saying, again, just talking all of this out and kind of sharing stuff with you guys. And so this helped me a lot. Just kind of like a fairly new start, a new look. Kind of gives you just a new mindset for the new year, and just whatever you have in store for yourself. So I really like that. And then today was the first day that I've worn colors in, like, over a month. And I mean, I've just had this, like, blue shirt on. I have some blue jeans on. I wore some white sneakers, because I've been wearing these black sneakers for, like, a month. They need rest. But yeah, so I wore colors today, and I wore my jewelry, and it felt weird. And on one hand, it almost felt a little wrong. It was like my brain was saying, hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you moving on? Like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should still, be sad. You should still think about Jonghyun and his death. But when I started going throughout the day, and I went to school, and I, talking to people and everything, like, it felt really good and freeing to wear my own clothes, other clothes that I have besides black. And it just felt really nice. And I think that is also part of the grieving process, to recognize when you're done grieving, not just to recognize the fact that you're sad or you're grieving or you're upset or whatever, but to recognize, like, I think it's time to move on. I think it's time to start really healing instead of dwelling on the sadness. I think it's time to take care of myself and to, live my own life. I think that is extremely important in this process, and it might be, I think it's even more important than actually grieving, because it's how you move on and live your life. We can live our lives, or, dedicate our lives to not just Jonghyun, but celebrities, idols, role models. It doesn't have to be like an actor or singer, but it can be, a favorite author of yours, or a favorite, if you really love science or math and you just have a favorite mathematician or something. Like, you can look up to these people, but at the end of the day, you are not them. You've got to live your own life. You have to focus on yourself and what you're doing, and you just really can't get stuck or caught up in what other people are doing. And I think it's important to recognize that, like, all right, it's time to put that away, and it's time to begin a new journey. Since I made my last video, Key has announced that he is going to be doing a reality show sort of with Boa, which kind of shocked me. And I'm not sure when they did all the filming, because obviously they have to have the content for like the first couple episodes. So I'm not sure if they did it after Jonghyun passed away, or if they did it shortly before he did, and now, they're piecing it all together, doing the editing. I don't know, but it shocked me that Key is still going through with it, and they're not going to postpone it. And then SHINee, the four of them have announced that they will be going through with the Japanese SHINee World Concert, which that truly shocked me, because I thought they were going to cancel. When they announced that they were going through with it, it was only like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And so the concert is only like a month and a half away. To plan for that, to plan vocals and choreography and just logistics, like all around that's just crazy to me. SM has a lot of work to do. The boys have a lot of work to do. And I don't know if I don't think they're going to do anything with the songs exactly, like edit Jonghyun out, or, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to keep Jonghyun in, because I get the feeling that the concerts are going to be for Jonghyun. I mean, Jonghyun's mother asked them to do it and said she thought it would be good for them, the boys, but also the fans, and it would just be a good healing process for everyone. So I don't think they're going to shy away from remembering Jonghyun. They're not going to try to, like, cover it up, hey Jonghyun, shout out, and then, keep singing without him. Like, I think it's going to be for bling bling. It's going to be for our boy. So I'm excited for them, but at the same time, I'm not hopeful for anything after. There are tons of Showls, which this just blows my mind. They've got to be young people, because, like, older Showls, not that I haven't been a Showl for that many years, but, like, I'm older, so you just kind of have a more realistic perspective on things. And, like, there's so many Showls that are like, I hope they perform at the Mamas this year, and I hope, they get awards, and I hope their comeback, for their album is amazing and incredible, and, I hope they get first, whatever win on Inkigayo. And, like, sweethearts, I was not even expecting, like, an appearance for a good 5 years. I'm not expecting anything after these concerts. I'm not expecting a comeback. I'm not expecting singles. Key is doing his reality show, but that was a surprise to me. Onu will have to go to the military by the end of this year or next year, so he'll be gone for a while. Like, I hate to be a downer and a pessimist, but just in my mind, I was thinking, like, I'm not even expecting them to stay together. And so after this Japanese concert, we'll just have to see what happens. We'll have to see what they do, where they go. But I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see them as a group for a good number of years or ever. Like, if they announced, in May, in July, in September, whatever, hey, thank you for everything. Thank you for the memories. We're so happy you loved us and supported us, but we're going to break up. SHINee is no more. I'd be like, that's understandable. Like, I wouldn't be mad. I would be like, that's fine, because I know that they need to heal. I know that they I mean, for anyone who is fooled into thinking that they are fine. Okay, I don't know what little delusional island you live on, but they're not fine. So I'm excited for them for this concert, excited to see what they're going to do, how they're going to perform, but I'm also a little worried for them, because I don't want them to rush into anything, I don't want them to push anything, and so, like, if it comes the day before the concert, you know, and the four of them decide, or even one of them, if one of them decides, you know, hey, I can't do this, like, I'm gonna drop out, or if they all go, we can't do this, we changed our minds, this was too much to handle, we can't do it, I would hope that they'd be able to say no, and that SM would be like, oh, okay, we're not gonna do it, cut it off. Because, I don't know, like, these companies just, they're crazy. I mean, we all know they're crazy, so I just hope they don't ever get greedy enough to hurt employees like that, but you just never know. You never know. And then I hope fans don't dare complain and are like, but we bought tickets for this. Girls, boys, no. Like, I don't care. A couple more things. So today it was announced that Jonghyun, I'm still not clear on whether it's a single or it's an album. I've seen some people say that, like, this is going to be a full album. Poet Artist is going to be a full album, and then I've seen other people say, like, oh, it's like kind of like a mini singles album. So I'm not sure what we're getting, but SM announced that they are releasing Jonghyun's music, and it's going to be called Poet Artist, poet, like, line artist, and like, they're doing it in his memory, which I fully appreciate. I hope that they would do this. I don't think it would have been right to really keep the music, but whatever. So I'm glad that they're doing this, and then they're giving the proceeds and all their earnings to Jonghyun's mother, but also an organization that helps people. I like how they worded it, though. Like, it was very beat around the bush. It wasn't just like, oh, we're helping people that have depression and suicidal thoughts. Like, they were like, we're helping people that are going through a tough time in their lives. SM, come on. Call it what it is. It's depression, it's anxiety, it's whatever, it's bipolar disorder. Like, it's suicidal thoughts, I am ready to kill myself, harm myself, take my own life. Like, it just kind of shocked me that they were still very, like, neat about it. And I know that there are situations where you kind of skirt around, you know, with your wording, and you don't exactly come out and say what you mean, but, like, that's not one of those situations. And I know, like, oh, don't trigger people, but I'm sorry, like, just say the name, because that's like 50% of your guys' problem is saying the name. Like, depression, suicide, mental health, like, it really bugged me, if you couldn't tell, and gave me a good laugh. But yeah, I do appreciate that they are giving money to Jonghyun's mother and to organizations that are helping people with suicide prevention and that are under suicide watch. So I did appreciate that, and it solidified, because when they just announced that the album was coming out, I can't read Korean, so I didn't know that, like, where the money was going. But I was like, oh, okay, you know, like, I might buy that, you know, like a digital copy or a physical copy. But then once I read where the money is actually going, I will definitely be buying both, because why not? Like, yes. So please, if you can, buy a digital copy, buy a physical copy. Just try to support in any way, if you can. Don't stress yourself out over it, but, like, if you have the funds, if you're gonna go and buy that Chungha album, or buy that, you know, that new JBJ album, like, don't go buy Jonghyun's album, please, and then give it to someone else. If you're not a fan of him, give it to someone else as a present, or resell it online. I don't know. But also there have been a couple of, well, not a couple, let's just say it, one tribute song to Jonghyun by Jungkook from BTS, which I thought it was lovely. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, this is gorgeous, this is beautiful, thank you so much. But I was really shocked to learn that there were people that took it the wrong way, that thought like, oh, I'm just gonna like making, I don't know, getting publicity off of Jonghyun's death. I don't even know what the mindset was, like what people thought he was going for. But it's kind of dumb, to be honest. Like anyone who thought he was doing that with malicious intent or with bad intent, like, take a step back, please. This is like Jungkook we're talking about, first of all. Like, he covers songs from anyone and everyone. Second of all, to think that he would actually be doing this to like, oh, I'm just trying to get, you know, some likes or some retweets from, you know, his death, or I'm trying to make a buck, or, you know, whatever, get praise. Like, no, like I truly believe there's a reason the video is black. There's a reason he's not showing his face. He wants you to focus on the song. He wants you to focus on the lyrics, on his cover. So I don't understand people that get mad at him. I don't understand people that use Jonghyun, that do use Jonghyun's name in arguments to win a point in their argument, but like, it has nothing to do with Jonghyun. Like, those people really make me mad. And unfortunately, those people are usually XOLs or armies. It's just, there's good XOLs and there's good armies, but man, like, you just happen to come across the worst of the worst, don't you? Just like there were people that were attacking Onu, probably the same people that were going after him after his sexual harassment scandal and everything. But there were people attacking him after Jonghyun died, saying like, oh, this is your fault, you know, like, you caused this, you weren't a good leader, you didn't take care of him, you didn't watch over him. And just, I don't know, like, there are just some evil people out there that truly have no conscience. Like, that shocked me and made me angry and made me extremely sad for Onu. And I just hope, for Onu's sake, he kept off the internet. He didn't see any of that. He didn't hear any of that. Like, I really hope he didn't have to see kind of the worst side of humanity, because that was just ugly and disgusting. I don't know. The world is weird and people are crazy. One last thing, I know I've talked about a lot, but pretty close after Jonghyun died, I was looking on the internet and I was, you know, just trying to find something. I'm very, like, I don't know, shallow, I guess you could say that. Like, I like objects. Like, I like things that I can touch, that I can hold, that I can, you know, have. And so after Jonghyun died, I was thinking of, like, is there something that I could have that to like remember him by? You know, I have posters, I have albums, but something that I could like keep with me. I know there are some people like have lockets. A lot of Shawols recently, which I don't know about this, but a lot of Shawols recently are getting tattoos in memory of Jonghyun, as well as SHINee. And your girl hates needles. I am so afraid of needles. I couldn't do that. So pretty soon after Jonghyun died, I found this really beautiful ring, which I'm actually wearing. You probably couldn't see it in the mess of jewelry that I have on, but but yeah, so it's this crescent ring and it's a birthstone ring. So I got Jonghyun's birthstone, which is a diamond because he's in April, but it's extremely pretty and it is delicate, which I thought was nice. I don't really like big clunky jewelry all the time, but it's delicate, but it's sterling silver and it's very well made. It's handmade, but I'm encouraging you guys to go buy this. It's by TDN Creations on Etsy, and I'll put a link for it in the description box down below. And she is based out of Canada, but you know, she ships to the US and it was about $50. I know, that's a lot. A lot of girls my age or younger don't spend that kind of money on jewelry. So So I know that can seem like a lot, but I can tell this ring is gonna last. It came just yesterday, like on his anniversary, so it's kind of fitting. But I can tell this ring is gonna last me a long time, so I'm excited about it, and it's much cheaper and much less permanent or painful than a tattoo. So that's why I'm sharing it. I'm not trying to like plug or, you know, like bombard you with, hey, go buy this, I'm sponsored by this. Ha! If you think I'm sponsored by anyone, you guys are so cute. Thank you though. But yeah, I really love this ring, and I don't know, it's a nice remembrance of Jonghyun, especially because he loved and adored the moon so much, and I like his birthstone in there. So go buy this. Again, link in the description box down below. So pretty. So that's sort of the end of this video. I think this is gonna be like 15-16 minutes long, but I just need to get thoughts out, just kind of update you guys on what's been happening, and my thoughts on it. And yeah, so in the comments below, tell me your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation, on Jonghyun's 1 month anniversary. I won't be doing this, you know, these kinds of videos every month. It was just kind of this time because it is 1 month, and it has felt like the longest time in my life, but also it went by extremely fast. It's very surprising how fast this went by. And after experiencing Jonghyun's death, but also my friend's death, I've sort of realized that nothing that I do, you know, like to help myself, nothing that I do to mourn or whatever, really will heal me as much as time. Like, time is truly our friend. I know there are a lot of people out there that are saying, you know, I don't want each day to go by, I don't want each week to go by, or years, because then that's just one more day that people will start to forget Jonghyun. And I think it's a valid point, and I've had a few times where I've thought, you know, like, people are going to move on from this, and people are going to forget about him and not listen to him anymore, or not listen to SHINee, or not really know about him. You know, like, new fans come, they don't bother to, you know, research or to go back, you know, and listen to past bands or whatever. And yes, I think, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I think Jonghyun, SHINee, just like many other big groups right now, will fade. You know, they'll go into oblivion. But just focus on right now. Right now, Jonghyun is extremely loved, and he was very loved before he died. SHINee is loved. So I think time, while it seems like the enemy right now, it really will be our friend, because that's when we can heal. That's when we can start to not cry when we listen to SHINee or Jonghyun, but start to love them again. Because I don't know about you guys, but like, whenever I listened to SHINee before, like, just this feeling of like warmth and nostalgia and like home, I would always feel that when I listened to them. And this last month, I've tried my hardest to listen to them, and I mean, I get through albums and stuff, but it just kind of, it all floats by now. Like, it's like I don't really hear them anymore, which makes me very sad, because they are my favorite group, and to not really love your favorite group's music is bizarre. Never thought it would happen, and yet here I am. And so I'm just waiting for the day where, like, I can fully love SHINee again. I can fully listen to Jonghyun's music without being sad. I'm waiting for the day when the nostalgia and the warmth comes back. So time right now is scary, but it's gonna be a good thing. And I think it's just gonna be a good thing for everyone mentally and emotionally. So in the comments below, tell me your thoughts and opinions on everything that has happened in this last month. And if you have, or you had your ritual or your grieving process, talk about that down below. And like this video, subscribe, follow me on Tumblr and Twitter. Those are down below. And thanks for watching CUKpop Today, and have a good day.